Hello YouTubers. Well, you were very kind in all the comments that you left on the story that I read in the last video I did, and so I'm going to offer you another one. It's about 8 minutes long, so to save time I will explain it all and put it in the description box below, and maybe you would like to read that first before you listen to the story. So I hope you'll enjoy it, and as always, I'll see you again. Until then, goodbye. I was never allowed to know what was in the chest. Now that I had the chance, I didn't think I wanted to. She's gone now, and part of me wanted to allow her secrets to go with her. Let someone else clear out the house. Why did Mum and Dad insist that I come to help? When I entered the room, I saw that the top of the chest was up, forming a seat, the raised top making a hard upright back. The seat in which I had always been made to sit, with knees together, nowhere to rest my arms, and not knowing what to do with my hands. He's a big boy, isn't he? Got big knees. He'll grow into a fine big man. I sat in the seat automatically, rather like a dog returning home to his kennel and a familiar place. I don't know why, but I felt a sense of sorrow. The room was just the same as I'd always known it, just as cold, just as dull. The red velvet curtains half drawn across the windows, as they had always been, the two china dogs in the hearth, and the mantelpiece draped with a tasselled cloth. The same huge picture of galleons in battle on a wall decorated with flowered wallpaper, long since faded and dull. There were 3 other chairs, each identical, with cushioned but hard seats, straight backs and wooden arms. There were white lace squares of material on the backs of the chairs, which Grandma straightened whenever the seat was vacated. The table, with its solid elephantine legs, was covered with a plum-coloured cloth matching that of the mantelpiece, with the same gold-coloured tassels. The gloomy room was so familiar to me, a room I had known and hated for all of my life. 3 years ago, at the age of 14, Mum had finally realised the futility of forcing me to visit. I smiled now as I remember how I had heard her voice calling me to get up. It seemed a long way off, as though she was calling from a distant mountain, with the sound being muffled and filtered by a morning mist. Even from the depth of the duvet over my head I sensed that it was still dark, but resisted opening my eyes, preferring desperately to remain in my dream of Judith and yesterday's English class. The distant mountains suddenly seemed more like a volcano. It shook me, and my mother's voice erupted. "Come on, Peter, I've been calling you for the last 5 minutes. Why do you pull that duvet over your head like that? Now get up. You know we're going to visit Grandma today." I frantically felt for my shorts, hoping I could find the opening and drag them on, knowing that objection would provoke Mum into pulling off the duvet. All right, I'm coming." I pulled the duvet off my head and moved as if to get out of bed, hoping that it would show sufficient effort to encourage Mum to leave the room. "Good boy, come on now, your breakfast's ready." She left the room with a parting command ordering me to put on my clean white school shirt and the jumper that her grandma had knitted for me. "There's no way I'm going to wear that thing." "You'll wear it and like it. Grandma took a lot of trouble to knit that for you, and it's made of real wool." "Big deal." "Well, she needn't have bothered, it's horrible, and anyway it's too small." "It's a bit small, I know, but she doesn't see very well now, and it took her a long time to do." "I'll say it did. She measured me for it when I was 11. I'm not going to argue with you. Do as you're told. Get on with your breakfast. You can wear it in the house and change into that long thing that you pull down over your knees when you get in the car. Why do I have to go? Don't be silly, because Grandma is very old and she won't be with us for always. You know she'll be disappointed if you don't go. She's always pleased to see you. You could have fooled me. In that gloom I doubt that she can even see me, and she rarely speaks to me, so I doubt whether she'll know whether I'm there or not. Don't you give me so much lip. I don't know what's come into you lately. I really don't. Mum, please don't make me go. Tell her I've got an important football match. But you don't play football. I know that, and you know that, but she doesn't. Please, Mum. And so it was. I lied to her about what I intended to do. She tried one more attempt by reminding me about the chocolate cake that Grandma would have baked specially for me. I wanted to say, I wish I'd never said I liked it. She gives it us every time we go. I hate that dark cooking chocolate, and it's as dry as a bone. But I actually said, tell her I'm sorry, and would she please send a nice large piece home with you for me. To be truthful, my day of freedom was miserable. I thought I'd go and see if I could find Judith. I didn't. The next English lesson she sat next to James Woolley. I knew what they were doing. Instead, I lay in my kennel with my head on my crossed paws and sulked until they came home. I didn't know what I expected to find when I opened the chest. Private things, she had said. What private things could an old woman have? On the top there were finely embroidered small garments. I imagined that they were baby clothes and christening robes. There were blankets and a small toy furry rabbit. I took them out and laid them on the floor. Beneath there was a framed photograph of a young man standing beside a tank in the desert. He didn't look much older than me. He was handsome. He wore boots and long socks. His chest was bronzed and bare. There was a photograph of a grave in a war cemetery, and next to these, the letters. I don't intend to tell you or anyone else what was written in them. You can guess that they were letters from her husband or boyfriend. They spoke in very simple words of his love for my grandmother. I read them all, unaware of the pain in my knees from my position in front of the chest. Many letters referred to the forthcoming birth of their child, my mother, a child he was never to see. I haven't told Mum yet that I found them. I know that I should, but don't know whether I will. I need to read them again and again. Something inside me seems to be saying that Grandma would want me to have them. At the bottom of the chest I found a bundle of cards. Cards with childish drawings and words written in unformed child writing. I realised as I spread them out that they were the cards that I had drawn and sent for Christmases and birthdays at an age that I could no longer remember. Oh, Grandma, why couldn't you tell me?